Okay, we have Greg London and Greg Johnson with Coach Helton. We'll start with asking Coach to make some opening comments, and then we'll take questions.
A good opening ball game for our kids, and credit to Coach Brennan and the job that he's doing at San Jose State. I think he's really growing something there. That was a good football team out there today, and a team that I feel is going to compete in their league again for a championship. We came into this ball game defensively to try to make San Jose State one-dimensional and to stop the run and try to put the pressure on the quarterback and to hold them 67 yards rushing on the day and really force a lot of third and longs is the reason you look up in the 3 of 14 on third downs. We were able to get off the field. And then, in a critical situation where we needed a real spark to have Greg, to watch a young man from Los Angeles, California, as a young man who's now a grown man, who's fixing to be a graduate of this university this semester, come up with the biggest play of the game, and to see him hold the sword, I couldn't be any more happier for him. Offensively, I thought we started off in rhythm and then fell off a little bit. Credit to them. They made a couple of adjustments and then had a nice late flurry in the game. Obviously, the things that I took away, not to say that it may be this way every time, but it was sure enjoyable to have a balance today with the run game, with the two backs, with Vavai and Keontae, while we took advantage of when they did play some man and did play some one high, and this guy goes off and rattles off 13 catches for a bunch of yards. So, I was hoping for a clean game. We limited in penalties. I think we only had 4 total penalties, 30-something yards, and so that was nice. And we had one turnover that we wish we would have had back, but we won the turnover battle. So a lot to correct off of, but a good opening win for our guys. And now we'll try to get healthy tomorrow and get back to work on Monday for Stanford. With that, we'll take any questions you got.
Coach, can you tell us about the play of your offensive line today?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the film, but the one thing that was neat to watch Graham do was to have faith in them in the run game, especially on some third down situations. When we were getting some too high coverage and they were actually clouding 15. I remember a 3rd and 7 and a 3rd and 10 where he hands it to Vi and hands it to Keontae, and they make the run. So when you see that, your coordinator's really got faith in that line and faith in the runners, and I think that created a lot more balance and created a more efficient offense on the day.
Heading into the game, was that part of the game plan to rotate the offensive line early?
We wanted to play 7 guys in this game. That was kind of what we were going to go into. We wanted Justin Dietrich to be able to get valuable reps and spell the 2 guards, and then we wanted to be able to get Jalen in to spell the tackles. Cortland actually caught a dislocated finger that came out for a little bit, and they put it back in. Then he came back out, but the plan was to try to have 7 guys go today, and I thought those 7 guys did a good job. We'll watch the tape, but it felt like Keaton had enough protection, and it felt like we were efficient in the run game.
When the offense did fall out of rhythm, what was your assessment as to what wasn't working?
Yeah, we just came up short on some third downs, I thought. It wasn't like it was 3rd and longs, it was more 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, and we ended up about a half yard short out on the opening coming out in the 3rd quarter. And our defense was playing so well that I just really felt that I didn't want to give any momentum back to him. And then we started hitting the third downs. On the end of the day, we're 8 of 15, so we're over 50%. That'll put you in the top 10 in the country if you keep that going for the rest of the season. But I thought our efficiency went down. We were really hitting those third downs, and then we went about 3 or 4 in a row where we just came up short.
What did you think of Drake Jackson's interception, and how did that set the tone for you defensively today?
Yeah, it really got us up 2 scores. We come out and we have a nice drive. We don't finish the drive, it's 3-0, and then all of a sudden we get the opportunity to get a pick and get that ball right back in the red zone, and then Taj Washington makes a great play on a touchdown where we had a freeze count on. They jumped off, and Keaton saw that he had a free play, and he put the ball up, and Taj made a hell of a play.
Clay, you guys had a couple of drives that stalled pretty close to the end zone. What were the issues in the red zone as far as you saw?
It ended up being it ended up being, we went to the run game a little bit earlier on the 10-yard line, made it a second down, second and long. We went to it again and got it about halfway, got it down to about the 4-yard line, and then we actually tried the freeze count again. Thought they had jumped off sides, they did not, and we went to the one-on-one with Drake on that and just missed. The other one, we actually threw the ball 3 times on the other one and just came up short. So we'll look at it on tape. What I did like was the last 2 drives in the game, Ryan, I'll be honest with you. I thought it kind of cemented the game, both a long drive for a field goal, and then the end, great throw by Keenan hooking up with EK on 4 verts cover 3.
And where did the defense stand out to you most?
They followed the game plan, and I don't know if I've seen that many calls of man-to-man coverage in my life. It was T.O. played a lot of man in that game, which I thought showed confidence in our secondary, and credit to them. They held up, and the rush, even though we weren't getting sacks, the ball was coming out. That was having to come out, and because of that, you look up and you had a little bit of inaccuracy because of it. But at the end of the day, Nick's a dang good quarterback, and to be able to hold that team to 7 points, who's a dang good offense, a credit to our defense and T.O. for the job they did.
What is status for Nick and Chris Steele?
Let's do Greg real fast. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Greg, what does it say about the defense's performance to be able to put this all together with all the injuries you guys are facing in the second half?
Yeah, we just trusted our game plan coming into halftime. Coach talked to us, made our adjustments and stuff like that, and we just trusted our game plan to forward, and we just wrote it out, stuck it out, executed on defense, and ultimately we got the win. So.
Can you walk us through your pick 6 and what you saw in that play?
Yeah, Coach called a great call, and I was just dropping in my zone, and I just read the quarterback's eyes, and I noticed that they ran that play earlier in the game, so I just made the most of my opportunity, and that's how I did it.
How did it feel as you were running into the end zone, just knowing how big that was at that juncture of the game?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
How did it feel when you were running into the end zone, just knowing how big that was?
Man, honestly, it felt like a dream, man. It's something I always dreamed of, being from LA and playing in the Coliseum in front of all these amazing fans, and for me to do that, it's just great.
Great. What did you think of Kalen Bullock and playing next to him today as a true freshman?
I thought he did a great job out there. For that to be his first game, he looked like he was very comfortable out there, and it was exciting just to see him fly around and do the things that he did. And that just is just a test to his hard work and his work ethic day in and day out.
Drake, you put up some career numbers today. Talk about your game, and were they taking some extra liberties with you out there?
Sorry, what was the end of that question?
Were they taking some extra liberties with you? It seemed like they were a little chippy with you at the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the game right now, but no, I think overall, we just try to go out there and win. I mean, the ball kind of landed in my hand a couple of times, and I just have to make the best of my opportunities, and I did, so.
Was it part of the game plan, particularly in the second half, to sort of get you more involved? It seemed like the offense kind of took off when you did.
I wouldn't say it was part of the game plan. I think we was just all trying to get into the end zone at some point, So we was just going down there and trying to drive down the field and get into that zone.
Clay, after a game like this, do you feel like you have to rethink anything offensively, or is it just first game?
No, you come out and you have a 30-point game against a top 25 team in my mind. And that team is a good football team. The thing that I think we could do better is what you said. I'd like to see better red zone efficiency instead of those 2 field goals. I'd like 8 more points on the board. But the thing that I was hoping was just clean football, and that's what we got today. There wasn't a ton of penalties, wasn't a ton of turnovers. Quarterback made good decisions, and got rid of the ball when he needed, and gave his kids the opportunity to make plays. I mean, he goes 25 of 36 on the day, and really, doesn't have a lot of forced throws on the day. So, to see the 2 runners rush for 150 plus together, and that takes a lot of pressure off. So, it's a great start. I think there's some things that we can correct on. Definitely, the red zone being one. I thought we can do it. I thought we gave up some field position in the punt return game on a couple decisions on field and balls that we'll clean up. But to come out of here, to be in the Coliseum with these fans, with our students back and our fans back, I don't think I could be any more happy right now than coming out 30-7 versus a good San Jose State team and being able to learn and coach off this tape.
Clay, do you have any updates for Nick Figueroa Chris Steele and Drake Jackson, those guys?
Yeah, I think, everybody's in a pretty good spot. Nick suffered an AC sprain that he immediately came up to me and said, Coach, I'll be back next week. Drake, fought through a little bit of some bumps and bruises, but, basically, played the whole game. I think we're in a good spot. Hopefully we'll get a couple guys back for next week, and I think we made it out of this game pretty clean.
And Chris Steele?
Chris is just banged up a little. I think he'll be fine. From what they've told me, they didn't see anybody that they felt would definitely be out next week.
Let's do one more.
Greg, what was the major frustration when the offense bogged down at times? What was the one thing that really stood out to you?
I would just say not getting those 3 points instead of getting 6 points, That's pretty much it.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. Have a great Saturday.
Thanks,